Okay, so it's been about 10 years since Katy Perry dropped her seminal record, Teenage Dream. This album spawned 5 number 1 hit singles, the second ever in history and the first ever done by a woman, and it made Katy Perry one of the top names in the pop game during the first half of the 2010s. I'm gonna break the conventional format I usually do per video, so this is going to be a little bit more scattershot, but I wanted to discuss things that I really liked about this album now that it's been 10 years since its release. I recall around the time of this album's release that I'd been a little bit jarred by how it sounded compared to her previous record, One of the Boys, which had its own share of hits, but Katy definitely decided to work with Benny Blanco, Max Martin, and Dr. Luke after I Kissed a Girl and Hot and Cold proved to be the biggest successes off that record. Teenage Dream has always, at least in my opinion, been the seminal example of a successful pop girl era circa that time period. At least from a commercial standpoint, while it may not have the cultural impact that Born This Way had or other contemporaries had in their own respective markets, I always felt like Teenage Dream was sort of a high mark of that time period. I usually remember seeing around that time period that people would try to attack Katy's achievement of 5 number 1 hit consecutive records based on the fact that most of them were really built off features, and the last attempt, the one that got away, had a shameless B.O.B. feature in an attempt to carry it from 3 to number 1. But honestly, I don't really see it as a negative thing. I feel like she actually pioneered the whole remix trend, which had been around many decades before. I also definitely believe that California Girls with Snoop Dogg, and then Teenage Dream, and then Firework as a single choice, the 1, 2, 3 punch, was an organic sort of affair. Firework definitely fell into the perfect timing in terms of its release. Around that time, many people had been releasing pseudo-gay anthems, like pseudo-gay support anthems, and it definitely just perfectly fit into that time period. In my own personal stances, I do sort of see Teenage Dream's success as a curse and a blight on Katy Perry's career in some form, in that it set up abnormally high expectations that she would ever reach this level of prominence or success ever again. That being said, I'd argue that the success of E.T. featuring Kanye West was its own mini era in a sense, and that success was repeated again when she did Dark Horse with Juicy J 3 years down the line. While many definitely consider The Complete Confection to be the ultimate version of the album, and I do respect that, I definitely just love the standard so much. I'm not quite sure to regard the deep cuts as deep cuts, because in my honest opinion, I feel like most of them could have ended up being singles had the album pivoted towards any direction that she felt the need to go in. While I could discuss the singles in part, I feel like we all sort of have heard a lot about them already, so I'm going to talk more so towards the cuts on the album that I definitely thought really got away from us. Peacock remains one of my favorite songs by Katy Perry to this day. It's catchy, it's irreverent, it's silly. It definitely could have been a single. I don't think it would have charted at number 1 per se, but it definitely would have been a top 10 hit. It's just really fun, and the writing and the production and Stargate's work on it just really makes it sing. Circle the Drain remains one of my other favorite tracks just because it's a diss at Travie McCoy, who I haven't heard from in centuries, essentially, pop centuries. Katy's vocal work definitely just reflects her anger and anguish and just her resentment towards the situation that she had been put into. Likewise, Who Am I Living For is Katy Perry at her most existential, at least towards this time period. This is a theme that she would eventually expound on in later albums. Katy Perry's lyricism is often criticized, but when she hammers in on relatable and sentimental themes, that's where she really excels. And then there's Pearl, which I appreciate for the audacity for her to just really go on it and be on the nose. There's absolutely no subtlety on Pearl at all. She's definitely singing about herself in many ways, in many forms. Weirdly enough, she prophesized her own future in that song, sadly enough. Though the upbeat ending definitely hints towards what really happened. Hummingbird Heartbeat definitely recalls the sound that she had on One of the Boys. It's a song about her ex-husband, Russell Brand, and their fiery relationship at the time. I sort of like that this track has a rock sort of edge to it, just a little bit. The album's closer, Not Like the Movies, is a track about Russell Brand. Yet again, it is extremely tragic in light of their divorce via text later down the line. Like, he actually had the audacity to text her that he wanted a divorce. I don't want to play favorites, but my favorite single of the 6 singles from the standard that she picked was definitely Teenage Dream. I say that only because I love the energy and the fact that it is a solid, cohesive thesis statement for the energy and vibes of the entire album. The verse work definitely underscores the naivete and happy energy of someone being a teenager in love. The lyrics are definitely believable in that conceit. I just really like the chorus too. The chorus is just so happy and infectious and perfect and unique in a sort of way. I just love the way her voice dips up and down and flies through the instrumental. And I like the simplicity of the music video. California Girls is iconic because of the rap and the song and the vibes, and the music video definitely carries the song. I think the music video carried the song for me, elevated it above, but the song itself on the radio in 2010, I don't care if anyone says that the song is essentially just a re-theme of TikTok. It is perfect, it is fun, it is great, I love the energy of it. I thought it was a perfect way for Katy Perry to debut the sort of persona that she was going to put out there for this album, with the wigs and the colorful costumes and the candy. It was just a moment. And Firework, I mean, the amount of memes that it generated, the plastic bag, still being a meme to this day. There's definitely a reason why Seth Rogen and James Franco decided to make it Kim Jong-un's favorite song in the movie The Interview. I don't know, it's just gonna go down as one of those timeless songs, especially like with the Party in the USA song. It's a staple for every 4th of July celebration. Last Friday Night was actually one of my favorite songs when I first listened to the album when it dropped on iTunes. This was predating streaming and Spotify. It is an infectious, hilarious, fun, relatable, recession, millennial anthem. This song is for millennials, essentially. I don't know, there's something timeless about Last Friday Night. I definitely see the song being played on the radio, like old people radio, once we're all old, and this will be one of the recurrent songs, the way that Cyndi Lauper's music constantly plays on 80s channels. The music video is a celebrity-studded affair. Rebecca Black was in the music video herself. Kenny G is there playing the saxophone. The remix with Missy Elliott is a lot of fun. I recall a lot of people criticizing this music for being disposable, sort of music that you would play in the background of a store or something, but I don't know, that just makes it more ubiquitous and more accessible, and ultimately something that will recur and come back into our lives. E.T. had been a song that actually leaked a while back before the album had even been dropped, if I remember correctly. When it was ultimately dropped as a single, the Kanye West version came out, and that version, despite my own personal qualms of the West as a person today, remains one of my favorite collaborations between a pop artist and a rapper. Kanye West was in his element when he rapped, "Pockets on Shrek, rockets on deck. Baby, what's next? Alien sex." It was a surprise, but it was a lot of fun. Just to close things out, I'm going to talk about the one that got away. I definitely think it deserved to be number 1. The song was the ultimate pop ballad at the time. The music video remains one of her best music videos to date. Diego Luna, who would later become Cassian Andor in the Star Wars films, was in the music video as a guy. Who recently found some TikTok resurgence as the song that all bottoms know, but if that's the case, we're all bottoms in a sad bottom world. I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I definitely did not have a script for this video, and it shows, but I just wanted to discuss this album. It's been 10 years, I feel like everything that's needed to be said about this album has been said in one way or one form. I just wanted to share some of my opinions and talk more about tracks that weren't talked about before. So feel free to leave a comment below what your favorite track was and what your favorite moments were from this era, and just I want to start a dialogue there in the comment section. That's ultimately why I made this video in the first place. Another shout out to all of my members. I will be making members only videos soon. I keep on saying that, but I just always get derailed, but I'm serious. I will see you guys again soon for Smile, which actually drops on Friday. I'll be doing a reaction video or a review. I don't know what I'm going to be doing for that.